Today on the Topping Show, a woman goes viral for saying that she is tired of white people's incompetence. A Michigan police chief says that Islamic loudspeaker prayer is no different than church bells. Alfa Romeo extends production for both the Guilia and the Stevlio. And Yamaha recalls their golf cart. All of that and much more on the Topping Show. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Today's episode of the Topping Show is proudly sponsored by Topping Technologies. Topping Technologies is an IT value-added reseller and services company with a special proficiency IT security. Heck, I see your founder at least twice a day. Gotta say he's quite handsome and brilliant. He's me, see that's a joke. If you're an IT leader or a business owner, reach out to the team at sales@toppingtechnologies.com. Also, still give away a free Flamethrower with every IT purchase with Picatinny related adapters to mount it to any standard AR-15 like all accessories can be. Go to toppingtechnologies.com and click the Flamethrower button to learn more and see me shooting a flamethrower. And lastly, try to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button and tell your friends and your enemies, I would greatly appreciate it. Now going over to the business part of the podcast, you have Alfa Romeo actually increasing production. Apparently, they do have more than 18 people who buy their vehicles, and I'm only partially exaggerating, though I think I've seen maybe maybe 6 to 7 on the road lately. Pretty small production numbers, but nevertheless, this is credited to Jack Fitzgerald over at Car and Driver, and they say, quote, Alfa Romeo, Guilia and Stevlio production extended for another year. The arrival of each model's replacement has been pushed back as Alfa enters development to include internal combustion engines in addition to the EV powertrains because, well, turns out companies like to make money and EVs lose money for everyone except for Tesla. Here you can see one of those funky looking Alfa Romeo sedans over there, which doesn't look too bad right there, the funky triangle looking grille. Now, they say, quote, Alfa Romeo has been selling the Guilia and Stevlio models in the United States for a decade now, and according to the brand's CEO, Santo Felici, both models are being extended for another year. According to the report from Motor One, Felici made an announcement as part of a reveal of the facelifted Tonale compact SUV. Oh dear God. People are going to buy that? Ooh. Like that hit. It is like it hit the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down. Jeez. Ugh. But nevertheless, they say, quote, the carts aren't being extended on a whim, but instead a bridge the gap until Alfa is ready to bring their now delayed replacements to the market, which is expected to be in 2027. As things stand right now, both the Guilia and Stevlio ride on the same Giorgio platform that they launched 10 years ago. The reason for the delay is what Alfa Romeo has initially planned for second generation versions of both vehicles to launch exclusively on EV powertrains. Companies now walking back that plan because they like to make money and profit. Okay, I did that last part, but yeah, pretty much all, in part due to government coercion, but a lot of these automotive companies all have these big commitments saying we're going to be, all EV by 2030. We're going to be all EV by, XYZ date. We don't need gas engines. Then they remembered, oh, wait a minute, we need to make a profit to be in existence. We're not a government entity. So probably should make vehicles that the consumers want and are very highly profitable, which, again, compared to the EVs, gas engines are, I was about to say infinitely more profitable. It's not technically infinitely more profitable than EVs, but it's quite a big delta. Now, they say, quote, so the current generations of both the sedan and SUV are being pushed out another year, while Alfa Romeo adapts the STLA large platform that will underpin the next Guilia and Stevlio with combustion engines. The standard versions are expected to use the same, the same Hurricane twin-turbo inline-six as the Dodge Charger 6-pack, as well as a bunch of their, trucks and other crap. And they say they'll share a platform with. The Alfa Romeo has also hinted the return of the Quadrifoglio editions, and say both of which will use Maserati's current V6, which Maserati with a V6, or Maserati in general, kind of just a joke of a sports car, depreciate faster than Mercedes, and I would say about as reliable as a Ford, which is to say not much. And again, they call it the Hurricane engine twin turbo straight six, which is great for BMW. BMW has perfected the straight six engine platform. They've been doing it for decades. The Dodge Charger, they're going to bring that back with V8 because that's what the consumers want. They want a Hemi in their muscle car. And again, there's a lot of anecdotal evidence when I talk to local dealerships, talk to the service guys. I'm always curious what's going on. And then the guys at Dodge, those Hurricane engines are having more and more issues left and right. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility once they find out the common correlation between why these things keep breaking. there will be a massive recall. And again, they put that engine in damn near every one of the, 17 brands Stellantis now owns. It's almost comical how many brands they own, of which only one or two are actually worth anything. So interesting. It makes sense. They're going to keep them around for another year as they go through the redesign. And I don't know, I'm actually surprised there's enough volume of the units being sold to justify them being in existence at all. I mean, I was on the road today, which, well, how many cars did I probably see? Maybe 500 or 1,000, give or take, just going throughout, driving an hour there, hour back. Saw one Alfa Romeo. To their credit, in terms of the vehicle, they do stand out. They look kind of fun and quirky. I like that. But in terms of the actual sales volume, I mean, I know one guy ever who has bought an Alfa Romeo. So, I mean, again, I just don't see them being a big seller anytime soon in terms of increasing their sales for the company. But let me know, do you think, have you ever seen Alfa Romeo actually on the road? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the cultural part podcast, you have a woman going viral for saying that she's tired of white people's incompetence and that they basically invented violence. Now, Spartans, thanks to End Wokeness, and I should put a visual disclaimer on the screen. Oh, I'm sorry. It's a very, very large woman. I was about to say cliche leftist glasses. The glasses rims are thicker than most people's thighs. It boggles my mind. There are 10,000 plus different eyeglass designs, albeit made by 3 companies more or less, but they always choose the weirdest glasses. So it's a large African-American woman. Let's maybe perhaps she has some very articulate, granular reasoning behind it. Of course not, but she's going viral. We're going to hear what she has to say.
So white people in general, I'm tired of you motherfuckers. I'm tired of your incompetence. I'm tired of your laziness. I'm tired of you not washing your ass on a regular fucking basis, and then we have to be susceptible to that shit. I'm tired of you having babies on fucking leashes.
What? Well, the birth rate actually has been declining around that demographic in the United States past couple of years. The leash thing is weird. Again, parents treat their kids like, why do you have a leash here? Just discipline your kids so they don't run all about. That is weird. Some parents do that.
I'm tired of seeing babies that's 13 years old in a fucking stroller because you just want to give them the fucking world.
I mean, I'm going to give her a point with that one. That is just ridiculous. And yeah, some of these lazy kids, you're 13 in a stroller, come on. And again, she's probably being a little bombastic for the camera and exaggerating a little bit. But really, back in my day, not to sound like a boomer too much, we walked uphill both ways in the winter all year round to get to school. But all seriousness, you see this, I mean, it used to be like the Red Rider wagon, or the wagon wheel thingamajig. That used to be every once in a while, like for a parade or picnic when I was a kid, you use one of those, or more accurately, borrow one for a friend. I don't think we did have one, but yeah, it seems like, well, I was going to say a lot of adults also use those little motorized scooters. There's less and less Americans walking. We need to get in shape. Pronto.
Or, oh, Billy doesn't want to walk, so we just gonna like have his feet dragging on the fucking ground.
These big ass babies.
Big ass babies.
Breastfeeding a baby that can chew steak.
Exactly. I'm tired of y'all raising and birthing and raising serial killers, pedophiles, mass shooters, and all this, and then you tell Black people that we're violent. Everything about violence, we learned it from you. So you're the root cause of it.
And of course, she's being roasted on social media and going viral, well, I would say all week. And I can't but think when she talks about the root of violence, I don't think she's being eloquent enough to actually, go back to the Bible and be like, well, you want to talk about the human race of violence. You want to debate if Cain and Abel were white, you had a brother kill another brother. You could debate, the very origin of it, but in the United States, per capita, no. Now, granted, if you want to include numbers that, deaths from big pharma, well, those numbers might change a little bit. But no, she's not really rooted in reality. But again, she's going viral to say the least. And for those who are not watching on the Rumble or the YouTube, she's a large African-American woman with some type of dress on. I'm not fashion aficionado. Obviously, I bought one suit and make it last a lifetime. And this, again, went viral. Got 1.6 million views, as well as 9.8 thousand likes. And one of the first comments comes to us thanks to America AF, says, quote, she can barely fit in the camera frame, getting 1,000 likes. Now, David Santa Clara says, quote, this is why I stopped trying to see common ground with them. Distance is the only solution, getting 1.5 thousand likes, which No, I mean, once you stop talking to each other, I mean, communication breaks down. I think worse things will happen. And again, this person is not a representative for the whole community. There are wackos in every community, obviously. And I have the privilege. I'm actually in a pretty diverse neighborhood. We all got shared values. We really don't care what we look like. Obviously, they don't care what I look like unless they want to hang out with me. Look at me. But you also have Libercat Media TM, has a little meme, as they say. And it's a gal and it says, I'm ignorant and wrong. I'm going to be loud about it too, getting 546 likes. Neely Henderson says, quote, tell us this. Give a picture of a white guy and a black guy sitting down together. The white guy goes, I've ran the numbers on reparations. After subtracting for crime, you actually owe white people $4.7 trillion, getting 429 likes. Paul Super says, odors, this woman needs to check herself, getting 636 likes, which, I mean, in terms of stereotypes, maybe I lean into the stereotype because I am partially white. I mean, don't we just buy Speed Stick and call it a day? Like the cheapest deodorant you can buy? That's what I buy. It's the cheapest. I mean, definitely not a brand ambassador, a shout out or a sponsor, but I'm pretty sure that's the cheapest per ounce unit you can buy for deodorant. That's what I get. America Popper says, that's cool because we are fatigued with you, getting 447 likes. You also have Gumby. That funny little guy is back. He's described as a first responder. And he has Gumby, I don't think it's the actual cartoon character, but it's the picture of and name of. He says, quote, we are tired of your botched English, fat-smelly bodies, and disrespect for human life, getting 11 likes. Oh, again, I don't have much ground to stand on in terms of my lack of an enunciation or speaking abilities, since, I usually speak faster than Ben Shapiro and more awkwardly than Joe Biden to climb upstairs with my stuttering. But when I started the show, I have a theory. No one tuned in. Well, my family had no subscribers. And again, I spoke terribly. But as I slowly but surely get more subscribers, I've been slightly better at speaking. Granted, most people would argue just a modicum of improvement, barely anything at all, though I would argue statistically speaking, an improvement. At least in my theory, the more people that click that subscribe button, the better I'll get in speaking, and someday make it through an entire episode speaking perfectly and articulately. Which is why I always tell you, do me a favor, click that button, make the show even better. Tell your friends and tell your enemies. Your enemies might be so enamored and impressed by your choice of podcast material that they then become your friends. Or they hate me so much, your enemies are just further antagonized and it becomes a physical altercation. So maybe I shouldn't recommend it. Either way, make for an interesting story. So tell your enemies as well. Saturfast Eternia says, quote, this is the anti-racist project. See, you had to click the button in its purest form. This is the venomous logical endpoint of every DEI seminar and CRT lecture. They don't abolish racism, they just invert the target. This is the state-sanctioned hate meticulously crafted to pathologize the host population. Notice the projection. The very vices, incompetence, laziness, violence that define their progressive cities are hungrily hurled at the group that built the civilization they now inhabit and resent, getting 195 likes. Race Electrician has a meme with a Spider-Man where we're pointing at each other, and she says, look, it's white people. She's pointing at herself, getting 24 likes. Wow, this got 4,000 likes. This is from Mirthful Moments. It looks like a picture of an old-timey guy from, what is it, maybe the 1900s? And it's a meme of a guy holding a pipe. He says, quote, so let me get this straight. Everyone hates white people, but everyone wants to live where white people are at. Getting 4,000 likes. Going down more and more. Eastwood has a meme of the trad wife versus the African-American woman. Says hi. The girl goes, what's that smell? She says soap. Then the girl gets angry, getting 1.4 thousand likes. Clarence Worley says, damn white people. It's a meme of the guy riding a bike and puts a roller in the spokes. The guy goes, damn white people. Then the white guy walks by, goes, help me white people. And the white guy goes, hey, that's my bike. Getting 1.7 thousand likes. Joab Yakarni says, quote, wheels on the shopping cart be like, you got is it City Sweeney? You have that gal being the one loud one, getting 1.4 thousand likes. You also have Son of Liberty 357 says, yep. And it's the meme. And it says 2015. It's a African American woman speaking to the trad guy. She goes, you're racist. And he goes, wait, what? And in 2025, she goes, you're racist. He says, F off, getting 645 likes. God and Country says, quote, believe it or not, hating white people is racism too, getting 879 likes. Jonathan Densmore says, only thing TikTok has given us, it's Jim from the office doing the meme with the whiteboard saying, quote, TikTok didn't make people dumb. TikTok just showed us how dumb people are, getting 1.1 thousand likes. We also have Mirthful Moments. This is one of those bumper sticker memes, but it's been placed on like a bridge rail. And she says accurate, and the sticker goes, they don't hate people, they hate white, or they don't hate racism, they hate white people, getting 524 likes. All right, see if there's any contrarian statements here. Somebody named Pice has a picture of the NPR guy goes, it's not okay to be white. And Dilbert from the comic strip says, if that's how you feel, I don't want to be around you. Then the NPR guy gets angry and says that's racist, getting 174 likes. See here. Isaac has a picture of two. What kind of dogs are those? Is it a Windsor? Not Windsor. What's the race dog that they have? It's gonna drive me crazy. A Whippet. There you go. It took me a while, but I remember the word. Now Isaac said it's weird though. You have two Whippet dogs with sweaters, dressed better than some people. And the dog goes, Susan, isn't it weird how pit bulls, 11% of the dog population, commit over 60% of dog bites in 254 likes? Let's see here. You also have a guy who says he wouldn't want to live in a world without white people.
I just couldn't live without all white folk. Like all of them. Just imagine if Thanos snapped his fingers and he took away all the white people. Yeah, we might celebrate them first couple of days, cause all the races gonna be gone and shit. But then you gonna look around. Where the fuck Tom? Where my girl Katie? Boy, I ain't heard no good Coldplay in about a goddamn month. I need some white people. You know, the regular white people. I mean, have you ever had goddamn chicken salad with grapes in it? That shit delicious. And all black people ain't warriors. I still need me some G.I. Joe white boys. Ones who just like niggas, that's all. And who the fuck gonna make Family Guy? I'm pretty sure GTA ran by the whites. I don't need them motherfuckers to go nowhere. I mean, think about it. It's a whole slew of white folk. You be like, they can't go nowhere. Huh? What the fuck we gonna do without Sir Elton John? That's not a world I wanna live in. I mean, sometimes you need easy listening radio. What the fuck we gonna do without Delilah? Huh? Niggas love Delilah. It won't be no more John Wick movies. So I'm just saying, y'all don't go no goddamn well. We gonna figure this shit out together.
There you go. They got 399, 400 likes. Run down more and more. We also have Daniel Hall, his meme of a white family says, white people, the only race you can legally discriminate against, getting 375 likes. Let's see. A lot of people just making memes of her. Well, you also have Tom Hennessy. And go, okay, let's separate deal. Again, 1.2 thousand likes. Maga Bane says, whites are the only people who can't make videos like this. Also, then there's a screenshot that says hiking is too white. Oh yeah, this is a myriad of things that moronic liberal writers have said throughout the years and reporters. There was an article where they said hiking is too white, which last time I checked, anyone with shoes can go hiking. I take that back. Anyone with 2 feet, well, no, wait. Anyone, a peg leg could do it. Literally anyone can go hiking who is not in a wheelchair. Yes, that is an accurate statement. Might be more difficult, if you have peg leg or some type of amputee. But yeah, this article is saying, oh yeah, hiking is white. No, camping, literally every activity everyone can do. She also says cycling is too white. Our countryside is too white. Our towns are too white. They say that our cities are too white. Our countries are too white. Governments, education, art. Well, I'd say pretty much all modern art is crap. I don't care who makes it. Especially the stuff where you just throw paint on the canvas. Modern art is mostly crap by everyone. Yeah, I'm trying to think of like good pieces of paintings that have been made in the past 50 years. It seems like, yeah, I'm not a fan of modern art. Whoever makes it. Person also says there's a war. Our national sports are too white. Our movies are too white. This person also says there's a war being waged against the European race. They want to dispose us. Having 141 brown and black countries is not enough for them. They want a world without white people. Don't take my word for it. Take their word for it. And that's a tweet from July 9, 2024, getting 4.9 million likes, or that screenshot, that tweet. That recently, again, right here, got 321 likes. Let's see here. I wrote a book about her. Stacey Bryant says, too many people are just living out stereotypes. It's a quote from John Wayne. It says, life is hard. Life is hard, Pilgrim. It's harder if you're stupid, though. That's a terrible John Wayne impression. But nevertheless, the attempt was made, gained 13 likes. A lot of people saying she needs to put down the fork, start hitting the gym, compare her to Jabba the Hutt. She's very much large. But yeah, I can't but think, how many of these tweets are just keep our country divided, so we don't focus on how much the government screws us over. It'd be nice if we had America first. Rare. But let me know your thoughts, because as always, you've vested here what you have to say. Going over to the political part podcast, you have the Dearborn police chief saying that, well, having Muslim player over the loudspeakers, it's no different than church bells. And a lot of people are critiquing him because the police chief now is Muslim over in, again, New Dearborn, Michigan. Spartos thinks to end wokeness, and he says, quote, Muslim Dearborn police chief Shaneen on the Islamic calls to prayer, blasting 5 times starting at sunrise daily. Which, oh dear God, that'd be every day.
The thing I'll add, oftentimes when we take readings, Council President, it's the ambient noise that's even louder than the call to prayer, to be honest with you. The truck will go by, hit a pothole, and it's much louder than the call to prayer. The 2 or 3 evaluations that we have had in the last couple of years have been met with compliance as soon as we've talked to the religious institutions. It's no different than church bells that you might hear on Sunday.
Shame. Yeah. Please, okay.
The ordinance.
No outbursts from the crowd, please, okay, folks?
Yeah, but it is different. And yeah, most people are critiquing this because that's annoying as hell. And church bells, again, this happened multiple times in Dearborn, Michigan, partially because you had a huge demographic shift of Muslims moving to that area and being imported there. And it's an instance where, some local news reporters, at first they claimed, oh yeah, this is you can have your Islamic prayer at, what was it, like 5 or 6 in the morning, which, I'm up, I'm an early bird. It would annoy me because I'm working out. I'd rather listen to some music. But again, I'm up, so that'd be annoying, but it wouldn't wake me up. Most people are not up. Now, the local ordinance, I believe, was 7:30 a.m. was the earliest you're allowed to make those types of loudspeaker noises. And again, I believe it happened more than 7 times. So like the local, in the public gatherings when the council's talking, they're like, oh yeah, we're going to investigate it. Turns out local reporters already found it. Oh yeah, they were non-compliance, which interesting to see what the government does and does not choose to enforce. And it's pretty valid. Got 1.1 million views as well as 12,000 likes. And again, I believe it was it Dearborn, Michigan? It was an instance where it's the first instance in the United States in which the police badge will not just be in English, but also in Arabic. And that struck a lot of controversy a couple weeks ago. Which again, when we look at the demographic shift, especially in that area, well, English is not the first language for many of them. So they need to identify, how do they identify the police? Well, got their language written right there. And this went, again, pretty valid, got 1.1 million views. And one of the first comments comes to us thanks to Jason Jones, who says, quote, church bells rang for a few minutes, 1 day a week, right before church starts. The Muslim call to prayer is blasted on loudspeakers at 5 times a day. Huge difference, needs to stop. And 3.1 thousand likes, which, 5 times a day. Now, and Wokeness says, he knows this, we know this, he knows we know this, yet he lies anyway, getting 2.9 thousand likes. America Pop Bear says, quote, nobody, and I mean no one wants to hear that trash, getting 1.1 thousand likes, which, again, a majority of the city actually probably does. Gunther Eagleman simply says Dearborn has fallen, getting 643 likes. Paul Zupa says, quote, this is ridiculous, is tremendously offensive noise that symbolizes practices that are incapable with Western civilization, getting 415 likes, which, Sharia law coming to a city near you. It's going to happen. One bad dude says they're taking over, getting 88 likes. Libercat Media TM says, quote, WTF, did this dipshit seriously compare the two? Like hell is no difference? It's very different. Church bells don't blast throughout the entire city on loudspeakers 5 times a day. And also, church bells are beautiful. It's music. A prayer, that is a bunch of words that, well, I was about to say I can't understand because I don't speak their language. But it's an instance where, having a prayer over the speakers is different than the music. And again, church bells, again, I keep stuttering. You have to click that subscribe button. It'll cure my speaking ineptitude, so someday make it through an entire episode speaking perfectly articulately. Again, let me know in the comments. I think church bells are a night and day difference between a call to prayer or loudspeakers. Scrolling down more and more, you also have, what is this? It's a long name, but this name is a Kalarian, formerly known as Chef. And he has a picture of Zara Mandami, and it says Takia, which, again, I don't usually purposely try to butcher these pronunciations, kind of inevitable with my ineptitudes. He says, a religious concept that allows Muslims to lie, deceive, or hide their beliefs if it helps the spread of Islam or protect its agenda. Don't be failed by the mask. Sometimes tolerance is just a strategy, getting 639 likes. Bulldog says, quote, we must defeat the twin evils of woke Marxism and Islam, or America will be destroyed. Do you understand this? Getting 259 likes, which, I mean, there are Republicans running in office. There's Valentina Gomez in Texas, running for Congress, women. A lot of them are saying we need to deport these people. We need to, stop this. But they never give a legal mechanism or actual roadmap. They say this is a problem, and again, there are some faith differences in terms of I do think some of their beliefs are incompatible with the founding fathers' ideals. But again, I mean, there was a mechanism we used to have to deport communists, but what legal mechanism would she utilize to deport these people? There are some of them who came here legally, and you do have freedom of religion in the United States. Now, it'll be interesting to see as more and more of them gain political power, do they start to choose what laws to enforce and not enforce? Going down more and more. Oh. You have Bend Over Gene Cool. Yeah, it describes itself as a joke account, which, yeah, it says I'm joking around and making memes because it's fun. It's fun. It says the two-state solution, and it says, looks like it's at Jupiter. It calls it Islam and Jewish people, and then it says Space Wall, and it says humanity on Earth getting 208 likes. Crazy Flex has a picture of someone by the name of Abdul who says, quote, my eyes burned during sex, and the doctor goes, it's normal, it's just from pepper spray, getting 259 likes. Also not a very original joke, it's been done before. Kind of stale. Crazy Flex also has a picture of a gal with a burqa, I think. It says, quote, hates Jews, conservatives, atheists, gays, dogs, bacon, wine, beer, your civilization, your culture, your traditions, and your country and you. Complains about Islamophobia, getting 314 likes. Lexi Nadia says, quote, Muslims do not assimilate, they aggregate, infiltrate, and conquer. That's their plan, getting 221 likes. FAFO simply has a bald eagle, says F Islam, getting 166 likes. Liberty Unchained says types of headaches, migraine, hypertension, stress, and the whole person's head is reddened. It says Islamic call to prayer, getting 257 likes. I also have, what is this? Jan Ivanucci, who just has a meme. It says Sharia does not fit into the civilized world. Islam is in conflict with civilization, getting 60 likes. Back here for you says, I refuse to coexist with people who want to behead me, getting 103 likes. Terrence Larray says Muslims lie. It's what they do as part of their faith, and he highlights something that says some of the Islamic doctrines of deceit. And again, they highlight the word tajaya. Apparently it's pronounced shaya. I don't think it's Shia LaBeouf, though. I don't think he thought of this. And it says, so shaya or sunil, and it's highlighted, it says calculated deceit for the purposes of spreading Islam. That got 28 likes. Azul. Pretty cool name. He actually has finally kind of scroll down, but we did find a contrarian statement. Again, life gets a little bit boring for an echo chamber. Now he says, quote, no one wants to hear your church bells early on Sunday morning either, but Christianity is forced upon us regardless. Let them blast their prayers, getting 26 likes. And talk about engagement farming, 209 responses. Was he ratioed, though? He was, by someone by the name of Leroy Jenkins. I forget what movie this is, but it's the person with the creepy mask and maybe it's a religious person who has got the cloak on, it's white. It says, silence, paperwork citizen. A Christian American is talking. Getting 80 likes, ratioing this guy. Someone by name of Let's Be Friends says, nah, F that. Islam is a ridiculous religion that isn't compatible with our culture or laws. Getting 164 likes. Mark Thompson says, I'm the infidel your imam warned you about. Getting 47 likes. Let's see, now I'm curious. Izul. Where's he from? Doesn't specify. Let's see here. Jesse Sweeney says, then go to an Islamic country then, getting 94 likes. Lamont Cranston says, church bells ringing on Sunday morning is soft, musical, and also associated with the clock. Public clocks like Big Ben, is part of our culture. Not shrill, terrible foreign language, nonsense screeching it out 5 times a day from PA systems. You do not belong in a Western world, getting 29 likes. It's also a good point in terms of actually being correlated to a specific time every time. Olivia says, Christian country, go to some of the 50 plus Islamic countries and leave the goats alone. Gain 29 likes. Stoloypild says, name a single church that has rang their church bells at 5 a.m., let alone every day. Good point. Let's make that 147 or 45 likes. Which, historically, to be a Bible aficionado to know, church is on Sunday. Some people go on Saturday, but mostly Sunday. And usually they'll have, depending on your church, usually 3 to 4 masses. I'd say 3 mass sessions. So you're going to hear those bells like 3 times. And again, it'll correlate to a clock as well. Let's see here. Right back to the main comments section. Ever intrigued says, quote, Islam is a major problem in America we will have to deal with. Getting 470 likes.
What is the draw of Islam to the West? Why is the West kind of floating over to it?
Yeah.
What is the appeal?
Are Muslims allowed to lie for the sake of spreading Islam? They're coming here and they're saying, yeah, we love you guys, we back you guys, but the moment they are the majority, they will turn and Sharia law will take over. And if Sharia law takes over, women will be beaten. If Sharia law takes over, homosexuals will be chucked off buildings. If Sharia law takes over, pastors will be killed, women will be raped, children will be turned into Muslims, and churches will be bought and turned into mosques, which is what's happening in London. So I think what they're doing now in America is they're
I think it's a 134-year-old church that was recently actually bought by Muslims.
practicing taqiyya, where they're lying to your face until you let them in. And once
Taqiyya. That I see. I can't pronounce anything, but I'll get it this time. Taqiyya. Okay.
you let them in, they'll take over.
What is the
That got 470 likes. January Jones has a very famous meme that's going around lately, and she says the 3 phases of Muslim immigration. Phase 1, few in number, oppressed Islam, play the victim, claim of Islamophobia, more tolerant of others. I want to say that's around the 2001 era. Phase 2 is large minority, indigenous Islam, threatening demand Sharia law, intolerant to infidels. Phase 3, clear majority, dominate Islam, militant, strict Sharia law, kill/subdue all infidels. For 1400 years, this pattern has not changed. Moderates are irrelevant. Although that did only get 2 likes. A lot of people saying kick Islam out of your country. Again, in terms of religions, they do seem to be the one that's spreading the quickest, I would say, past, 5 years especially. But let me know your thoughts, because, as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Going over to the business blunder of the day of Yamaha recalling their golf carts because, whoops, they're dangerous. Now, this brought to us thanks to the United States Consumer Product and Safety Commission, perhaps the only useful government website, which, well, granted, that's a pretty low bar. And they say, quote, Yamaha recalls model year 2021 to 2025 golf cart crashes due to risk of serious injury or death from a crash hazard. And here you can see the cliche Yamaha golf cart that's at, I would say, 90% of golf cart courses in the United States, with the rest of them being Textron. And of course, this government website is loading slower than a Camry trying to accelerate onto a highway, which is to say, very painfully slow. Now, they note that, quote, recalled golf car vehicles lack stoplights, posing a risk of serious injury or death due to a crash hazard. While you're on the golf course, of course. This is going to affect 19,300 of the units. Note that, quote, the recall number includes, again, 2021 to 2025 Drive 2 Personnel Transport Vehicles, or PTVs, gas-electric golf carts. Recalled golf carts were sold in a variety of colors. The following models and serial numbers are recalled to the recall, which, I was going to say, spoiler, it seems like darn near every single one. Yeah, so if your golf cart was made from 2021 to 2025, yeah, just go ahead and give them a call. And again, it's a cliche Yamaha white golf cart, which, again, historically, they're pretty robust. And again, this is more of a mandate thing versus actual danger, in my opinion. Now, they say consumers should immediately stop using the recalled golf cart vehicles and contact an authorized Yamaha golf cart dealer to schedule the free installation of stoplights. For consumers who cannot take their recalled golf cart to an authorized dealer, Yamaha will provide transportation or will install the stoplights at location of the golf cart. That's going to cost them a serious chunk of change. Now, of course, they've reported no incidents because, again, it's just extra lights. And they sold it. Now, the crazy thing is, for this cost, I expect it to have all the bells and whistles, including extra silly lights. Now, they say these are sold at Yamaha dealers nationwide from June 2001 through July 2025 for between $8,300 and $12,900. Before, of course, the extortion of the sales tax. In Texas, that's 8.25%, which that is insane, in my opinion, for a golf cart. Granted, I'm sure most of these are bought by clubs, not individuals, unless you're, a rich, bougie part of town where you have a golf cart. You live right next to the golf course. But nevertheless, again, this most likely affects most fleet vehicles over at golf courses, what have you. They say there's imported by Yamaha Golf Cart Company of Georgia. Interestingly enough, of course, they were actually, well, it makes sense, Yamaha, manufactured in Japan. And again, it's a silly recall. But again, more and more of these are also not just used on golf courses, but also, pedestrian areas as well, or, outside the golf course. And Yamaha forgot to put a little extra piece of light on it because they forgot about some little safety nanny state mandate. But nevertheless, you got to comply with all those who make and sell things in the United States. So I got to say, Yamaha, you are certainly the business blunder of the day. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 6,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so click that button. I really appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, and a comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone, everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.